When I first set foot on my college campus, I was full of hope, excitement, and a bit of fear. I'd always wanted to become a pilot. The dream had taken hold of me when I was just a kid, staring up at the sky as planes flew overhead. There was something magical about the idea of soaring above the world, seeing everything from a bird's eye view, and being in control of such a powerful machine. But as much as I dreamed of it, the reality of becoming a pilot seemed almost impossible. The costs were astronomical, and the path was full of challenges I didn't know how to navigate. During my first year in college, reality started to hit me. The tuition fees, the costs of flight training, the endless exams, it all felt overwhelming. I was studying engineering, thinking it was a safer bet, a way to have a backup plan if my dream of flying didn't work out. But as the days turned into months, I felt more and more disconnected from my studies. My heart wasn't in it. I spent more time daydreaming about being in the cockpit of a plane than I did focusing on my coursework. Eventually, I realized I needed to make a decision. I could either continue down this path, hoping that maybe one day I'd have enough money to pursue my dream, or I could take a leap of faith and go after what I really wanted. The thought of dropping out scared me. What if it was a mistake? What if I never became a pilot and ended up with nothing? But the thought of spending the rest of my life wondering what if was even scarier. So, I made the decision to take a year off from college. It wasn't an easy choice, and my family wasn't exactly thrilled. They'd always supported me, but this was different. They worried I was making a huge mistake, throwing away a good education and a stable future for a pipe dream. But I knew I had to try. If I didn't, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. I spent the first few months of my gap year trying to figure out my next steps. I searched the internet for opportunities, internships, scholarships, anything that might help me get closer to my dream. But everything I found seemed like a dead end. The flight schools were too expensive, the internships required connections I didn't have, and the scholarships were incredibly competitive. The more I looked, the more discouraged I became. It felt like I was chasing an impossible dream, one that was always just out of reach. One night, after another long day of fruitless searching, I found myself scrolling aimlessly through social media. I was feeling pretty down, thinking about how I might have to go back to college with nothing to show for my year off. That's when I stumbled across a video about manifestation. I'd heard of the concept before, but I'd never really paid much attention to it. But something about this video caught my eye. The speaker was charismatic, confident, and he talked about how he'd used manifestation to achieve his own dreams. He made it sound so simple. Focus on what you want, believe it's possible, and the universe will help you make it happen. At first, I was skeptical. It sounded too good to be true. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I didn't have much to lose. I'd already tried everything else, and nothing had worked. Why not give this a shot? I started watching more videos, reading books, and learning everything I could about manifestation. I learned about the power of positive thinking, visualization, and setting clear intentions. The idea was to focus on what you wanted, act as if it was already yours, and trust that the universe would bring it to you. It all sounded a bit woo-woo, but I was willing to try anything at that point. Every morning, I spent a few minutes visualizing myself as a pilot. I imagined what it would feel like to be in the cockpit, the controls in my hands, the view of the world below me. I pictured myself wearing the uniform, hearing the hum of the engines, and feeling the rush of takeoff. I tried to make it as real as possible, using all my senses to bring the vision to life. I also started saying affirmations throughout the day. I am a pilot. I am confident and capable. Opportunities come to me easily. It felt strange at first, but the more I did it, the more natural it became. I even made a vision board, filling it with pictures of planes, airports, and pilots. I put it up in my room where I could see it every day, a constant reminder of what I was working towards. As the weeks went by, I noticed a shift in my mindset. I started to believe that becoming a pilot was actually possible. The doubts that had plagued me before started to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence. I stopped worrying so much about the how and focused more on the what. I trusted that the right opportunity would come to me when the time was right. Then, one day, it happened. I was scrolling through my feed when I saw a post about an internship program with a major airline. They were looking for candidates who were passionate about aviation and willing to undergo intensive training. The program included flight hours, mentorship, and the possibility of a job offer at the end. It was exactly what I'd been looking for. Without hesitation, I clicked on the link and started filling out the application. The more I read about the program, the more excited I became. This was my chance, the opportunity I'd been waiting for. But there was a catch. The application process was highly competitive, and I needed to pass a series of tests to even be considered. I spent the next few days preparing for the tests. I reviewed everything I'd learned about aviation, brushed up on my math and physics, and practiced the skills I'd need to pass the assessments. I also kept up with my manifestation practices, visualizing myself acing the tests and getting accepted into the program. The day of the tests arrived, and I was nervous but determined. I walked into the testing center with my head held high, repeating my affirmations in my mind. I am a pilot. I am confident and capable. Opportunities come to me easily. The tests were tough, but I gave it everything I had. A few weeks later, I got the news I'd been waiting for. I'd passed the tests and been accepted into the internship program. I was over the moon. It felt like all my hard work and manifestation practices had paid off. The internship was everything I'd hoped for and more. I got to fly regularly, work with experienced pilots, and learn the ins and outs of the aviation industry. I made connections, gained valuable experience, and grew more confident in my abilities. By the end of the program, I knew without a doubt that I was on the right path. Looking back, I can see how far I've come. A year ago, I was a college student with a dream that seemed impossible. Now, I'm well on my way to becoming a pilot, thanks to a combination of hard work, determination, and the power of manifestation. I'm not saying it was easy, or that there weren't times when I doubted myself. But I kept going, kept believing, and kept trusting that the universe had a plan for me. And now, I'm living that plan, one flight at a time.